Hello YouTube. I haven't done a video in a very long time, and my last successful video was 7 years ago, and it was on about wild mice. Got 8.5k views, and that was just showing a video of how I would look after some wild wood mice if they came into my care due to a cat or another animal attacking them. Just as an update on that as well, all mice recovered well and were released. So today I'm showing you a video about red apple vampire crabs. Now, I've done a lot of research on these and you really cannot find a lot of information. So I'm going to show you how I've done mine, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit of care on the actual species. Now, they are a land dwelling crab, and they don't go to the water very often. See, as you can see by her cage or her tank, it's mainly mud. It's very bioactive, and it's self-sustained in a way that I don't have to add a lot of food in or a lot of vegetable waste, because they eat what is virtually on the floor. Pretty much scavenge for anything that they can find. So I have one in here. I did have two, a male and a female, but unfortunately the male passed away. So, but at the moment she has been on her own for the last 6 months, and she's actually a lot better without a male. But they do work better in social groups, and if you have a big enough tank, you can have loads in one tank. Now, I've never mixed species from vampire crabs or red apple or red claw. So this is just a red apple vampire crab. Now, like I said, I had two, but now I only have one. The tank is very bioactive, so she eats all of the little springtails and little horrible little bugs that are in and around in the tank. Now, I haven't cleaned this tank out for the last, say, 6-7 months. Since it was set up, I just left it. See what happens. Change the water at least once a week though, due to the fact that I like to give her fresh water, not standing water. So we're going to go through the tank, and we're going to just have a look at what we can see and how we're going to go with this, which should be pretty easy anyway. So what I'm using is a peat, or a peat soil is actually mixed with a tiny bit of gravel, tiny bit of sand, and tiny bit of cocoa fibre and actual fertilised soil. Mix it all together and you make this very dark bioactive soil. Now, I do find little snails in here every now and again, and they're perfect food for her. These crabs do like a lot of vegetation, and they will eat a lot of fruit and a lot of vegetables. Now, let's go through the cage and see what we have and what we don't. So, as you can see, she's in a 10 gallon. 10 gallon. Soil is about 4 to 5, well, actually no, 4 to 3 inches. All depends. And you want the soil not to completely cover, but you want more soil depth towards the back than you do the front. The reason why I say this is because they like to burrow. So we have a fake plant here. I'll just remove this, it's just a plastic fake plant. I have a bit of wood, as you can see, just an old bit of bark that had some moss on it, and I throw it in there because it looks good. And she does use it, and she mainly forages on it. And we have all this wild sphagnum moss, which I actually have so much out the front of my house right now. It did get washed. Perfect for keeping humidity and moisture inside this tank. Now, they don't need a lot of humidity, and they don't really need a lot of moisture, as they're constantly underground and they're well, let's say the ground is always wet and moist. So yeah, as you said, the little blue thing in there, let's take this out. So the blue thing in there is actually something I 3D penned. Just old log there, look, just to help out a bit, so she doesn't get stuck in the water. So I 3D penned this little house. It never gets used, it's just there just in case she cannot get out. It's the same as this little bit of wood here. It's just ideal, just so she does get stuck, she can get out straight away. Now, like I said, these guys will borrow. And you see the little crack here. You won't be able to see nothing down in there. But that little crack is where she'll come in and out of. She'll use that as a front entry exit, so she will eat up on the top of here. She will then, if she's seen or caught, she will then take her food from here straight down into the gap. Now with these cool species, just like any other crab species, they borrow, and a lot of crabs, land crabs that I've had before, don't really make too many big holes, and you cannot see into those holes. Now I'm kind of lucky because I have left this for so long that you can now see the borrows. You can see underneath this broken little plant pot, there's actually a piece of wood right at the very back of this that changes the tunnels, so it's completely under the soil, but she's dug all the way around it, under it, on top of it, and then she's made her burrows. So you can see 2 holes. Fortunately, I ain't gonna be able to show you much on them in the holes, but I can show you where the holes are and how she's achieved this. Well, she is a very, very awesome little crab. She doesn't come up very often. Now, I don't know if you can see without the glare. See the hole? Now this hole is in between a 5-inch drop. That's 5 inches. And her little tunnel is dead centre each way. Now if we go towards the back a bit, you will see the back. Now I put a backdrop on this for a reason, due to the fact that it hides the light, and you may not be able to see that, but that little tiny grey patch that is stood right there, that is the crab. So I would always recommend putting a backdrop on these guys. Do not have them so they're completely seeable. They don't like to be seen, and they come out more in groups. As you can see her, you might be able to see her, but she's right there. Now, she'd be due to go into molt soon. No, she's just chilling now. Look. Yeah. So, as you can see, I mean, I do want to put her in a bigger tank. Just at the moment, with this whole isolation, it's a bit hard to do. So, we'll go back to the tunnels. As you can see, you've got this broken pot, and then right here is a bit of bogwood, a tiny piece of bogwood, and in this bogwood it actually has like 3 or 4 holes already into the big bogwood, so I just thought it was ideal. Keep the humidity underground anyway. So yeah, so I don't know if you can see her little red claw there. You might be able to see a little yellow eye. They are very inquisitive, and I wouldn't say they like to be held or they like to be disturbed all the time. They really don't. They just like to be left on their own. So I just leave her and see what happens, really. She is not that old. She is now coming up to 1 inch, and probably 1 inch and a couple of centimetres, I suppose. So out of all the crabs I've had in my life, I've had red claw crabs, and I've had some vampire crabs in the past. Now red claw crabs are cool, but they don't really come out of water very often. You can't make them stay on land. So it's the same as vampire crabs. You can keep them in water, but you can't keep them on land for too long, as they will dry out. This species is very unique. The more humid their tank is, kind of better how they thrive, in a way. I mean, like I said, the humidity in here is not the best. It does get misted at least once a day, and I just leave her to do her thing. I don't disturb her, other than today, obviously. Yeah, so just cover the holes back up. So she has fresh water every day, and she will eat a mixture of different food through the week. So it could be anything from I will sometimes give her some sinking fish pellets from my fish food. May give her a little bit of fish food. I have reptiles, so she'll also have a mealworm. I will also throw in a half dead carcass of a locust, and she will eat that too. They mainly eat more vegetation than they do meat, so she will have apples. Obviously not too sweet apples, but she will have apples. She will also have spinach, a tiny bit of lettuce, like nothing to do with iceberg though, because there's no nutrition in it. And she'll have a tiny bit of calcium. I do put calcium powder in here every now and again, and she'll just, it's really weird, she'll put herself in the calcium powder and you just see these little white dots everywhere. Which is kind of cool. So I mean, I know this video is not going to be the best, but I'm going to try my hardest with this one. I have no lighting on this, no filtration, no nothing really, other than the tank itself. This tank is actually put up really high in my room, and it is not in direct sunlight, but it's lit up quite well. And just get you a better, there you go, better look at the tank. I know it's not the biggest or the best, but she's only a small crab, so she doesn't really need a lot of room. The more she needs is actually borrow time, and she will borrow, which to me is a good thing. So this species, like I said, I just leave it alone, let her get on with what she does naturally. So this morning I saw her. She was out on her log here. Her favourite place is to stand here, and this is where most of the moisture sits, and you'll find some snails or some springtails on here, and every now and again I found an ant or something, and that will go in there as well. This is pretty well done, I suppose. Really all the information I've got personally. Like I said, I can't find no information online on how to care for these properly, and not many people have them, I suppose. They're not expensive to buy. I'm in the UK and I paid £10 for two off eBay, funny enough, and they were delivered the next day in perfect order. When I say perfect, I mean no claws missing, no legs missing, literally perfect. She's grown quite a bit since I have had her. Now, like I said, I don't disturb her, and I don't like getting her out of the cage, so for this video I'm not going to do that. I don't want to stress her out at all. These guys live, I wouldn't say they live for long. I've seen people have these for quite a few, well, for say a year or so, and they have been doing fine. All the information that I have gathered on these is what I have personally learnt, so if you have a comment or anything, please put it in the description and add your feedback. Your feedback is very important to me because it also helps me learn on what I am doing. Now, like I said, she is very happy in this enclosure. I've never had anything wrong. She has molted twice now, and well, no, she's molted once. The first time I got her, she molted in the bag, which wasn't good. It was a very hard molt for her. She has molted once in this tank now. The other thing is with these is you don't have to give them such big water bowls, stuff like that. I just give them a big water bowl so that way she has enough water to sit in. Every now and again I will throw like I said, sinking pellets in the water because the water gets changed every day, and I will also throw like a mealworm in there, and she will happily go into the water, take it out of the water and take it back to her little den. These crabs also will not leave food laying around. They will take the food and they will bury it in their little cave. When that is done so, you have to, when that is done so, you have to be very cautious. Do not want any mites or mould going into this tank. So any food waste you must find straight away. I use a pair of long angled tweezers, metal ones, to remove any food debris and get disposed of straight away. I will change her soil in the next couple of months when I see that the soil is either draining or becoming stagnant, smelly or dirty. On a personal note as well, don't give these, I give her raw cauliflower every now and again, and she will take the cauliflower, she will eat it, and then she will leave it in her burrow. So you have to be very careful with what food waste you put in, and you've got to make sure you are manageable to get it out. It's a shame I can't actually show you where she really is at the moment. So if I disturb her, she will not come out of her burrow, and it does take a fair bit of time until she does. So until then, I will have to post some videos of her out or scavenging when I get a chance. But for now, I am out, and I hope this helps in a way. And if you have any feedback or any care advice, please PM me or just put it in the comments, and I will do my best to answer. And that is my video. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day, stay safe, remember to distance apart. Make your life happy and enjoy your day. Goodbye.